So, again, estradiol, we could do a whole podcast on that. I like to go back to just basic physiology. When you have, let's talk about the obese guy with high estradiol. So, as opposed to the other guys, why does he have why would his body use the resources that it has, the limited amount of testosterone that guy is making in order to elevate his serum estradiol? Of all the things that it could do in response to his obesity and his metabolic dysfunction, why would it pour fuel on the fire is what people think? Why would it make this substance that's making him feel worse? Well, the fact is it's not. It's making this estradiol it's trying to protect itself. All right. It's trying to protect himself, protect his body from the inflammatory and toxic adipokines, which are these hormones that are made by visceral body fat, which in levels that you find in obese people are universally bad. There's only two that I'm aware of. There's several hundred adipokines, and there's only two, which is leptin and adiponectin, that at higher levels have actual health benefits. All the rest are deleterious. They're bad for your blood vessels. They're bad for your brain. They're bad for your heart. They do all sorts of things. And guess what's good for your brain? Guess what's good for your heart? Guess what's good for your blood vessels? Is estradiol. The estradiol is not, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. And
Oh, for sure.
they're blaming, they feel bad, they look bad, their labs are terrible, and then they get this estradiol number that has a red H by it. And they're just saying, well, that must be the reason. That must be the reason I'm feeling bad. And it's not. That's not the reason. Now, estradiol is involved in some of these pathways, right? So the guys that have fluid retention, for example, if you do it the dummy way and you give them an AI, some of that fluid retention gets better. But the root cause is not estradiol. The root cause is the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. It's transient sensitivity to antidiuretic hormone, which goes away if you just wait, or if you could put them on a low dose ACE inhibitor or an ARB, that treats the root cause issue, and then you can leave the estradiol where it is. So
Yeah.
estradiol is, when the guys have these quote high E2 symptoms, which they're not high from high E2, the solution is not to lower the E2. The solution is, how do I fix your symptoms while allowing you to keep the benefits of a high E2 level? Because these high E2 levels are beneficial, especially from a cardiovascular standpoint. So how do I fix? Okay, you've got water retention on TRT. Okay, let's address that. But how do I do that without taking away this very beneficial hormone? And that's the approach I think that needs to be taken when guys have these quote high E2 symptoms, is how do I fix your symptoms at the root cause while keeping this very beneficial hormone and where your body clearly wants it to be at this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
There's a
how
modifiable factor here, and it shouldn't be the estradiol. It should be the adiposity. So we get rid of
right,
that, and you're
right.
fixing not only your symptoms, but you're just getting healthier in general anyway,
You're
right?
just getting healthier in general.